Now, so now the question, what's my activities here in the West, and my advice to people about seeking knowledge here in the home in the West. As for the activities, again, we said, we have made some attempts to locate a suitable facility. We have not really did a lot of fundraising, if any at all. We will take a look at doing some of this in the near future, inshallah tabarak wa ta'ala, as things takes money and takes planning and strategy. But for now, we are a mobile online institute, meaning I do travel. If anyone wants me to come to their area to do khutbah and seminars, then this normally we will get the message from the people inbox or email, or if they have my number, they call me, they schedule me, they take care of all of the transportation to and from, and they give some type of compensation. I do have a pay scale when you talk about for khutbah and seminars, but I do with smaller communities negotiate and help them out. The bigger communities don't get a break. They have to do what they're able to, like for everyone else. And I was a imam at many points here in the South. Once in Asheville, North Carolina, was the imam and the masjid there, the only masjid in Asheville. And when the contract ended there, actually wasn't a contract, but it was a contract. They made a contract and it ended, and it wasn't suitable for me to stay because of the type of environment, people fighting against hijab and women ruling the community. And I'm a man of sunnah, so once it became clear that the people could not benefit and were not willing to benefit anymore, then I decided I have to leave. So then I found myself in Charleston, South Carolina, with the request of helping some brothers, and I was teaching at the CMC, Central Mosque of Charleston, and later became an imam of a small masjid close to the hospital there in Charleston. And the masjid was called Masjid Medina. And after that, some brothers thought it would be a good idea for me to come to Durham and to provide some education for the adults in Ibadah Rahman. And that's a long story, but that's how I ended up in Durham. And many people they say, why you don't teach it to Hateful Sunnah? Do you know Rashid Barbie? And yeah, me and Rashid, we go way back, by the way. We go back to 1998, as he was in Sana'a during that time, in the Arabic Institute, and I was in the University of Iman in Sana'a. And Rashid would go to the Maj and not stay, a long time, because he had a wife, a Yemeni wife in Sana'a. And we maintained a good relationship up until the beginning of the 2000s, where I didn't have contact with him because he was back in the States and I was in Yemen. And I think I seen him once after that or something, up until recently, the last 3 or 4 years. So, alhamdulillah, the brothers, they have their program there, and, when there's a need, justifiably for someone, then inshallah, I'm sure they would make their choices. But I go where the people request me and need me, the most. If I'm not needed in a place, then I shouldn't try to force myself on the people and try to make matters about me. No, it's about educating the people. And we mentioned, all of the different shubahat around where you can teach and where you can't. You shouldn't be at that masjid because it's a masjid of innovation. And you shouldn't be with these people because they're not Salafi. And we mentioned all of the qawaid, how, the whole dawah of Shaykh Mukbil was in a Shia or Sufi or Qawani place. Yemen was that place. Sufi, Shia, Qawani, so we know this is fabrication, and it's not proper principles. Even if some shuyukh have said this, again, we don't blind follow. that which we take is from the haqq, and that which we leave is not from the haqq. And if someone has made an assessment or call and they're wrong and they're to that level of scholarship and they were sincere, they were truthful, and they made an error, then Allah will forgive them, and they have a mark of goodness because of their intention. But we don't have to follow except that which we see the Prophet Sallam and his Sahaba, Tabi'in, Tabi'in, and the Imams of this deen hold to that first 3 generations. We don't have to follow anything but that. So alhamdulillah, whether if there's a masjid outwardly calling to his bid'ah, then of course we don't go. Because by common sense default, it's going to be hostility. He's calling to Shiism. How can a Sunni go there? They're outwardly preaching this. They're going to attack Ahlul Sunnah right away, no doubt, And so an oxymoron would think he can go there and help. But someone who, this is what they learned, this is all they know, this is from their backgrounds, from their culture, but they want to learn what's right. They're willing to hear Sunnah, where they themselves think they're on Sunnah. Then how could they not invite a person of Sunnah to educate them? And, if they do, then you go. And this is from even the likes of Muhammad Had Madkhali, when they were asked this question. They said, no, the Salafi should go even to the masjid of the people of Bid'ah if they want him to come and teach, as long as they're not outwardly talking and calling against the Sunnah. He should go to educate them. Because if he does not educate them, if the Sunni doesn't educate the people, if the Salafi doesn't go to teach the people, then who's going to do it? He said, and your brother should go with you to support you. He said, your brother should go with you to support you. But what are we going to do with that? So this is what is the activity here in the United States. Haven't traveled to Canada and UK, but that's on the agenda, inshallah ta'ala. And also, I was part-time imam on the north side here in Durham for a period of time, and I did some programs for about 2.5 years out of Ibadah Rahman. Now I'm basically just teaching online and traveling, and if anyone wants to employ the service, then they can contact me, they can message me, and our staff will take that inquiry and we'll get back to you. If anyone has a good situation, we can look at possibly becoming part of your community, integrating Market Safina to North with you at a suitable rate, at a suitable time. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best what tomorrow holds. Right now, as they say in the NBA, I'm a free agent. I'm not an imam anywhere, and I kind of like that because the imam game has become very nasty. Either you have to deal with politics, or you have to group up, and Allah mustaan. So inshallah ta'ala, we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to give us sincerity, give us truthfulness and honesty, and make us of those who practice what they preach. Make us of those that will not be punished for not acting according to what they know of the truth. And lastly, my advice for the people and in the West is to learn, get back to learning the knowledge. The wallahi, the fitna from the SB crew, I have to say, and those like them, has made people scared to learn. Allah mustaan, made the people paranoid of the ilm. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned about this spread and corruption in the earth. And this is a bad thing, that you corrupt the people's mind and their deen. You're going to become someone that Allah is going to punish if you do that. So the main key that Shaykh Mukbil used to mention about the ilaj for fitan, al-ilm al-nafi, talab al-ilm, learning. This is the cure for fitna, tribulation, not knowing, problems, learning. Don't spend so much time on the internet talking, arguing, listening. Have some type of formal or informal class where you're learning, because most of the problem comes from ignorance or shubuhat. Most of the problem comes from ignorance and jahl, not knowing, or shubuhat, thinking that you know while you don't know. As Imam Fawzani said, that the fitna comes from fitna comes from two things. Every fitna, imma min shubuhat or imma min shahawat, either from misconceptions or people following their desires out of ignorance. So this is my advice. I need to be busy with the knowledge. Those brothers that are imams, they never studied anywhere. Allah, do the best you can, but it's upon you as well to learn from somebody who learned. Let them make you an imam's course. Brothers, wallahi, recitation is horrible. They chipping the Quran up like a person chips up slices, luncheon meat or something. You have to have respect for the Quran. How you can be imam and lead the salat with tajweed from transliteration, or saying the Quran in the way that really you can't even really lead the salat, because salat behind you may be nullified. If your al-Fatiha is to the degree that the meaning is changed because of the pronunciation, then no one can even pray behind you. And the scholars have mentioned this before. So my advice for those brothers in charge of communities, don't be arrogant. Don't think because you're imam, or maybe you have charge, or it's your building, or maybe it's your father-in-law's building, or maybe I pay the bills, so now I'm just the imam, and all I do is go in the book and just say what's in the book. La, some people, they think it's simple. This deen is easy. Yeah, the Prophet said deen yusran, but this doesn't mean the definition of easy that we give. Doesn't mean all I got to do is look in the book. Well, I need to ask somebody. I can read. I'm intelligent. La, this is not the case. You have to have a teacher, because the book cannot tell you that you're understanding something wrong. You have to have a teacher, because the Salaf, they had mentioned the one who teaches himself can only be his own leader. He can only lead himself. Why? Because he didn't have a teacher to teach him. Every teacher must have a teacher. That's how the Prophet ﷺ got the religion. With a teacher. Who was the teacher? Jibreel. So this is the protocol. And we know we have many people that, wallahi, they didn't study anywhere and they have good skills. That's from Allah. They didn't study anywhere. When you listen, you say, wow, I thought he studied. That's from Allah. But the protocol is the protocol. You have to take your knowledge from somebody. And as the brother used to say, Abu Aisha Abdul Jalil from Williamsport, is now I heard in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, we have to get back to the basics. We have to get back to the basics. And this is my advice. And make sure you have sincerity. Make sure you're not doing it to show off. Make sure that you're not wanting to be accepted. It's a big problem. People just want to be accepted. Nobody has to validate your Islam, your Sunnah, your Salafiyah. Allah already did that. When He told you to follow His way and don't follow anything other than His way, He invalidated you. When He told you what the Prophet gives you, the Messenger gives you, take it. He invalidated. He validated you. Pardon me, not invalidated. He validated you. He validated you. You're valid. No one has to come and give you a credence and say, you're this or that. No. So this is my advice. Don't group up. Don't click up. Stay away from the fitna. Get back to learning and become people of ibadah. Become people of holding the tongue. The Prophet kuffa an dhalik. He held his tongue. Sometimes we have to stay out of stuff and learn. Mind our business, so that we can grow. Because if we don't, we're not going to change our state. As Tabarak wa Ta'ala said, La yaghayru Allah biqawmin hatta yaghayru bima anfusihim. People will never be changed. Allah will never allow you to change until you change what's in yourself. You have to change what's in your heart. The sin to obedience. The bid'ah to sunnah. You have to change the shirk to tawheed. And the kufr, you have to change it to iman. You have to change arrogancy to humbleness. You have to change ignorance to knowledge. You have to change irresponsibility and being a person who's negligent to being responsible and not being negligent. We have to change from inside to out. This is my advice. نسأل الله تبارك وتعالى أن يغفر لنا ذنوبنا ويكفر عن سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع أبرار. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us for all of our sins, to have mercy upon us, to purify us, and to make us die the death of the righteous. I'm sorry for so many interruptions because of the internet, but inshallah tabarak wa ta'ala, I hope it was beneficial for the listener and that it gives them a little more information about me. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from us our good deeds. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Sallallahu wa sallam wa barak ala Rasulil Kareem. وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا هو أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. I want to thank our dear brother Hanif for this interview in order to help put this bio together. I want to thank the listeners for your time and your support. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help his servant as his servant is supporting his servant. As Rasulullah mentioned, Allah would never stop helping his servant as long as his servant helps his brother. Alhamdulillah bil alameen.